guys, it's Lizzie. Today I'm going to tell you how to survive middle school. This video was highly requested and I personally thought middle school was amazing, and I know that if you went to a very cliquey school it might have been a totally different experience, but these tips will hopefully help you fit in your school and kind of find your place whichever type of school you're going to. One of the reasons that I probably had an amazing middle school experience was because my sister was in 8th grade when I was going into 6th grade, so she'd already been at that school for 2 years and I'd already been to it for all her performances and meets and stuff. And so when I was going to middle school, I already knew everything about it, and she toured me around the school and told me all this advice. And so right now I hope that I can be your older sister so that you guys can get through middle school and have an awesome experience. The thing that is either going to break or make your middle school experience is the type of friends that you have. And it doesn't really matter how many you have, it just matters how close you are to them and how kind of genuine people they are. Your friends are going to really determine your middle school experience, and they can either make it amazing or obnoxious. If they're really genuine and fun to hang out with and are not the type to go around gossiping about you, it's going to be a really fun experience. But if they're really dramatic people always causing drama and being like, oh my gosh, she said this and he said that and now I hate her, if they're that type of people, then they're going to kind of ruin the whole experience and make it into something a lot less fun than it actually could be. I'm going to make a separate video on how to make good friends who aren't obnoxious and dramatic, and I'm going to link that right here when it is posted. But for now, we're just going to focus on making friends. The main way to make friends is to join extracurricular activities, which is also referred to as getting involved. And you're going to want to attend your school's open house or talk to someone who already goes to the school so that you know the type of activities offered at the school. The first type of extracurricular that I really want all of you to join is a sports team. And you want to join, if you're going into 6th grade or you're moving to a new school, you want to do a fall sport so that you'll get to bond with everyone at the beginning of the school year rather than the end. And so fall sports are generally volleyball, cross country, and then some middle schools have football teams. Mine didn't, but I ran cross country in middle school and it was so much fun. We started on August 1st and school didn't start until August 22nd, so for an entire month I was running and sweating and bonding with all these girls on my team, and most of them didn't know anyone else on the team, so we were all brand new to it and we were all making friends. But then there were also 7th and 8th graders on the team, so it was kind of cool because you got to meet the upperclassmen while also getting to know the people who are new at it, like you. If you're one of those people who just isn't coordinated and you're horrible at sports, I still think that you can run cross country. And you might be think I'm crazy, be like, oh my gosh, I hate running, but guys, if you fail at running and you're on the team, you can bond with the other person who fails at running by talking to them when you battle to run a mile. It might seem kind of torturous to have to do something that you hate, but I promise that if you join a sport, you're going to bond with so many people and form so many amazing friendships that are not going to happen if you're just in a math classroom together. So joining a sport for me is kind of mandatory if you want to have a good experience. There's basically 3 sport seasons: fall, winter, and spring. And so fall is cross country, volleyball, football. Winter is basketball, and I don't know, some schools have softball and baseball. Mine doesn't. My middle school didn't, but I don't know when that would be. I think it's spring maybe. And then other spring sports would be track and field and tennis. And then swimming, I guess, is in winter or year round. And then other year round sports would be cheerleading, and then if you were on the dance team. A lot of you guys might be in, say, a dance class out of school, and that's kind of your sport. And I danced all through middle school, and I love ballet. I actually quit in high school because it was getting too much time away from schoolwork dancing. But one of the things that I recommend is, even if you have a sport out of school, to also join an in-school sport. Because yeah, it's cool to have a lot of friends outside of school, but since you're forced to be at school 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, it's nice to have a bunch of friends at school. So joining a sport is the way to get a bunch of friends. The next type of extracurricular activities, academic teams, and I was a total nerd in middle school, a proud nerd, and I was on the math counts team. And guys, seriously, don't make fun of me because math counts was so much fun. And by the time I got to pre-algebra stuff in 7th grade, it was so easy for me because I'd already learned it in math counts in 6th grade. And so we met in the mornings about 30 minutes before school started, and so I got to hang out with a bunch of girls, and one of them ended up being my best friend. 2 of them actually ended up being my best friend. And then there's also Math Super Bowl, which was kind of the same thing, only a different league kind of thing. And then there's also English Super Bowl, Geography Bowl. A lot of schools stereotype people where like you're like the popular people, the jock, the nerd. But if you take my advice and you're like, you're on the volleyball team, on the track team, on the basketball team, and then you're in math counts, they can't really label you as a nerd because you're obviously a jock. Then there's things like student council and leadership. At my middle school, we had an advisory class that we went to first hour, and everyone had an advisory, and that was basically just where you like get handouts and announcements, and you basically read for the remainder of the class. But there was one representative from each advisory, and so you can like your class elects you to be in student council, and then leadership was like for 7th and 8th graders, and you could like apply to be in it. And then there's also like National Junior Honor Society for basically if you get like A's and B's, I think. And so those things are really good to join in case you want to get into like a choice or like a magnet school for high school, because it just like looks really good, and it's also really fun because it's like good leadership experience. Then there are music electives, and at my middle school we were forced to take music classes, and you could choose from either orchestra, band, or choir. I was in orchestra and choir. The reason was because we had this class called TBG, which I have no idea what that stood for. It was basically just study hall, and during study hall you could either be in your study hall classroom or you could be in a music elective. And so I took cadet orchestra, which was like 6th grade orchestra, during music class, and then during TBG or study hall I would go to choir on Thursdays, and on Tuesdays I would go to cadet orchestra, which was like the older orchestra, because I was like really good at playing the viola because I started in like 4th grade. And music is so much fun because you get to make music in class, which is really amazing, and everyone has their own little instrument. And so like I played the viola, and we had a little like viola clique with like 4 people in it because no one plays the viola. But like I became like so close to Ricky, who's like the only other viola until like 8th grade. So music is like so much fun, and you get to perform in front of the whole school and in front of all your parents at concerts, and it's just like amazing. If you join a publication like yearbook, newspaper, or TV production / morning announcements, that will give you a bunch of popularity because you're going to go around giving an interview or with a camera, taking pictures, or with a video camera filming stuff, and everyone in middle school is like an egomaniac wanting attention. No offense if you're in middle school, but it's kind of true. And so people will like run in front of the camera and be like, oh my gosh, film me, I want to talk, and all that. And so they'll know you as the cool person wanting to make them famous on school TV. So that's kind of it for all the extracurriculars you can join. And when you are involved in something like, let's say you play volleyball, or let's say you're on the math counts team, you're going to go to a lot of tournaments or a lot of meets or a lot of games, and that's going to be really awesome because it's time that you get to leave class early and hang out with all those people who you're friends with outside of school. So it's really fun. So even though friends are pretty much mandatory to have a good middle school experience, you're ultimately there to learn